Hello and welcome to this little unboxing of the Jagged Alliance 3 Tactical Edition, or Collector's Edition of Jagged Alliance 3. This was first announced on the 4th of May 2023, so about 2 months before release, and originally only 750 units were planned and they were only available in the Euro area. And later on, THQ Nordic decided to do a second batch of 200 units, offered them in the THQ Vienna shop, but you could still order them from the US for a decent shipping price. And of course they are all sold out by now. The original price was 130 euros, and I think they are about 150 euros now on eBay. But if you want to buy it in the US, I think it will be even more expensive, because the US was just not like a big target audience for that. I purchased that right away from my own money. It did not arrive before release, actually arrived I think 1 day later, but I received a press or pre-release key from THQ Nordic, so just so that you know that as a disclaimer. And by the way, if you're wondering, this t-shirt I actually won during a developer stream. But now let's have a look into this box, into the Tactical Edition, and see if it's a worthy addition to this collection here. So yeah, let's have a look. So here you can see that it's a bit crumpled. The feet actually have some kind of imprint on this paper sleeve. Besides of that, it's a solid plastic box. The handle is a bit rubbery. Maybe you can see the fingerprints here, or how this the surface is behaving. And also the noise it makes if you scrub over that. I fear that this might be like in 10-15 years, this might turn into a sticky mess, but hard to tell. Here on the top we got an auto pressure release thingy, okay. So yeah, with the sleeve it looks quite cool, I think. And yeah, of course it's multilingual. Then we got the content, the game soundtrack, the AIM pin, we got a tactical belt pouch, we got the cards and an heavy duty tactical belt. And what do we have on the other side? An outdoor case. Well, I guess we saw that, and there's a Steam logo and the other note that we need to activate the game online on Steam. The country of Grosjean is thrown into chaos when the president gets kidnapped and a paramilitary force seizes control. Hire unique mercs, explore a huge open world, make decisions that alter the story, and fight in tactically deep turn-based combat in this true successor to Jagged Alliance 1 and 2. It's actually a bit funny that in the German version, instead of true, it says worthy successor. Contains violence and burdensome topics. Okay. 18+. Well, then let's try to get that thing open and let's have a look inside. So I would say that it looks rather unspectacular without the sleeve. You can also see that the font is a bit skewed here, but let's have a look inside. And here we got, well, let's start with the belt thingy here. So, yeah, a belt thingy. Looks nice. This part here is metal, not plastic. And, yeah, okay. I am not quite sure what I'm going to do with that, probably nothing, but alright. Let's have a look at the next part, the bag, or the pouch, the belt pouch. Looks nice as well. Let's have a look inside. Well, it's empty unfortunately, but you can see that it's stitched through, it's not just a print. Then we got the AIM pin out of metal. I hope you can see that on the camera here. I'll put it in front of the back for some contrast. Then we got the cards, the character cards. We will have a look into them in just a minute. And we got the game itself. Number 492 out of 750. And we got the same like description summary of the game, which we already saw on the back of the big box. And I think there was also like the soundtrack on this in this box, right? Yeah, game soundtrack. It's listed on the side. So yeah, let's try to get this thing open here. All right. A mini art book. Okay. And we got the game itself on DVD. Creation of text. And this is Ernie Island and the bunker here. And there's the fort on the top and the bunker in the bottom. And here we can see a couple of characters like a raven, steroids, a wolf, buns. And there's the loading screen. And that's it already. That was quite an art book. A bit short. And then we got the official soundtrack here and a track list here. And you could already hear the tracks in the background. I will just mix them in. And now I will just switch over to Beth's Call. Yeah, this was quite a small art book, but it was a surprise that there was a small art book in there at all. But let's have a look at the character cards here. I will not go through every single one of them. So here you can see Len's signature quote and his special talent. This next character is Forda. It's a new character in the series, and she is a Peshmerga, quite interesting. Then we got the stealthy Shadow, quite the beloved character in Jagged Alliance 2. Then we got Robert James Scully Sullivan, one of my favorite characters in Jagged Alliance 1, maybe together with Jimmy, who actually was a friend of Earl Magic Walker. And there was quite a bit of a discussion about that character regarding his changed behavior, which is also a bit reflected in his head. He is not as grim anymore. And then we got Gus Torballs.
The name's Gus Torballs.
He was the one giving you the missions in Jagged Alliance Deadly games, and his talent is now Tango Down, which gives you grit, some kind of temporary hit point mechanic in Jagged Alliance 3. Next up is Hitman, who actually got one of the biggest changes in Jagged Alliance 3 in terms of his stats. He got a bit older and more chubby, and with that he lost some of his dexterity or agility. And yeah, there are only very few characters who got bigger changes in their stats, like Mouse, for example, which we will get to in just a second. Then we got Tex Colburn, quite an interesting and funny character, present in Jagged Alliance 1, then gone in Jagged Alliance 2, but reintroduced in Unfinished Business after his movie career didn't work out as well as he wanted.
I wanted to make a movie about Terminator Cowboy, but producers said Yul Brynner already did.
Then of course we got to have Ivan Dolwich, one of the proto-characters of the game. He only spoke Russian in the first game, and he got a talent which is named after Igor, his nephew, who is also part of Jagged Alliance 3. And then we got, yeah, Helmut Grunty, and he's a German who uses vocabulary which is like 100 years old, and he's always referring to his mother, which is quite cringy, so it's very hard to endure, especially as a German.
As Mother always likes to say, there are very few problems a machine gun cannot solve.
Yeah, extremely cringy. Then we got Norma Meltdown Jessup, and she's a bit of a psychopath, and interestingly, she is designed after Linda Curry, who is the wife of Ian Curry, and he again is basically the father of the Jagged Alliance series and also involved in the Jagged Alliance 3 development. Then we got Blood, quite a Rambo type of character, and his special ability is throwing daggers, which is quite powerful. You can see that his skin here is quite dark, but for for some weird reason the skin in-game is actually white, so he always reminds me of this Tropic Thunder guy.
Some of us might not make it back.
Then we got Thor from Berlin, and he's got a bit of a new age thing going on, and his talent is to create some special medicine, which is quite powerful. Fidel is another proto-character of the series, quite an explosive expert, but also a psychopath. Then we got a new addition to the series, Kalina, a Ukrainian, and she got a special ability which just completely ignores any armor. But unfortunately, she is also the character from AIM with the lowest wisdom. Pretty much the opposite of Livewire, a hacker from Pakistan. She got a very powerful talent which basically lets you see all enemies on the map as soon as you got some intel. But she also got a bit of an annoying voice which I would describe as mix of Ira and Imoen of Baldur's Gate.
When is my 15-minute break?
Then we got Yuri Omrin, also a new addition to the series, also a Russian, but he has got a bit of a nature connection and he's got a unique knife. Then we got Mouse, probably the biggest surprise in terms of Jagged Alliance 3 characters, because she was only introduced in Jagged Alliance Deadly games and she was no longer present in Jagged Alliance 2, but yeah, now she's back with a big bump in her medicine skill. Apparently she learned that in the clinic of her friend Margaret, and as the character with the most agility, she got a talent which actually lets her walk through enemy Overwatch without getting attacked. Of course, we have to have Fox with lots of slippery comments, and then there's Bobby Steroid Gortarski, a mix of Duke Nukem and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but incredibly slow.
Everyone's a hero in their own way, just not everyone has my mighty biceps. Just look at them.
Yeah, strong but very, very slow. And lastly, we have a card with all the characters we have here on the cards. These are all the characters from AIM. It's not all the characters we can hire in-game, there are a few more. But that was all the content from the Tactical Edition, pretty much what was to be expected from the trailer. And there also haven't been any big surprises, so on the one hand there wasn't anything where I would have thought, well, this was really great content, I wouldn't have expected that type of stuff in the Collector's Edition, like with the Wasteland 3 Collector's Edition, which was really amazing. But on the other hand, there was also nothing which was super cheapish, like with the Dragon Age Origins Collector's Edition, where you can see the map and you can see that that didn't even manage to put the print straight on this map here, so you can't read anything and it's not aligned correctly. This was the Dragon Age Origins Steelbook Collector's Edition thing, so yes, there was this Jagged Alliance font on this box, which is not straight, and this seems to be a general issue, but on my box it's a bit more skewed than even on others. So there's that, and I'm not quite sure if the handle will develop a kind of sticky touch after like 10 years or so. I mean, I can't do a material analysis or anything like that. But overall, for 130 euros, I think it's fine. I would have preferred to have a map, like maybe even a cloth map in a better quality than that. But I would rather pay these 130 euros for this type of, well, size collector's edition, rather than paying 220 euros for Cyberpunk 2077, this big chunk of collector's edition, or the 260 euros for the Baldur's Gate 3 collector's edition, where you really get this big thing where you don't know where to put it. And yes, I have these sections here in on my shelves where I can put bigger things, but even I have some stuff in the other room because I just don't have any space for that. And no, I didn't buy them for over 200 euros. So I think that's perfect for like normal big box collectors shelves. So overall, I'm quite happy with my purchase of this Jagged Alliance 3 Collector's Edition, and I think it looks really great here on my shelves, and hopefully you think the same. And I hope that I've been able to give you a good overview of the different content of this Collector's Edition, or Tactical Edition as they call it. And with that, I thank you for watching, and in case you're playing Jagged Alliance 3 yourself, I wish you safe travels through Grand Chien. So stay safe, and until next time, bye bye.